Good evening, folks. How is everybody tonight? Please, in the comment section, introduce yourself and tell us where you are from. Hello, Danny and Joyce. You guys enjoying the fair? Kevin and Mary from Boquete. I like how that sounds, guys. How was your private tour of Boquete area with your guide Eduardo today? Hey, Matt from Lexington. Good to always have you. Hello, Kayla from London, Ontario. Jim from Las Vegas. Las Vegas, I need to visit again. I've not been there in too many years. Good friend Carter, how are you? Mary Frances from Durham, North Carolina. Hi, Isabel from Buffalo. Woody, hey, Woody Cotner from Kansas. Cotner, say hi, and Retired Panama team says hi back to you guys. Hello, Kathleen from PA. Megan's from PA. Megan will be on here very shortly with me. Hey, Doug from Calgary. How are you? Great. The passport renewal. Yes, folks, you can get your many passports renewed right here in Panama. You don't have to leave. Hey, Elaine and Bob. It all depends how much you're going to treat me and, buy me drinks and food and stuff like that. I'm pretty expensive. Basically, on our tours, you don't need to bring a lot of cash because we look after everything. We tip all the meals, pay for all the meals. So it's just basically, we have people have to buy another piece of luggage to go home because they bought so many souvenirs. So if you're that type of person, Elaine, and then I would bring a few $100s with you. Mm-hmm. A lot of people buy a lot of coffee to bring home, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we're going to get started in a minute or two here. Thank you guys for being on time. And really, the rest of you, please say hi and tell us where you're from. Hey, Joanne, I'll get to your question. If we can hold off questions for now, though, because otherwise they're hard to find in our commenting part of the chat, but I will mark that one so I see it. Hey, Maria from West Palm Beach on YouTube, and welcome to all our YouTube and Facebook viewers right now. We are streaming on several platforms. And here's Megan, and we will... Hello, Megan.
Hello.
Megan and Noah.
How's everybody doing?
Everybody seems doing good. Oh, James is back or Jay from the Witness Protection Program. Yeah. Hey, Alan, Belinda.
James.
Owen from Connecticut. Sylvia. Now they're starting to introduce themselves. Only about half the people ever introduce themselves. It's shy, as if we can't see you. This is a totally open, totally open system. You don't have to register. You don't have nothing. We don't get your email. So we only know you because you say hi. You can change your name. You can be whoever you want, just like Jay Barnes. Okay. But if you misbehave, we kick you out. There we go.
We do recognize the names that introduce themselves every week.
Yeah. Woody, we heard that. That is so excited. You guys are going to be close to me, almost neighbors. I'm just on the other side of Delega. Mm-hmm.
That's right. How exciting. You guys are going to be back soon.
Hey, Jane and Mark from Calgary, and Heather from Cochrane, Alberta. Oh, you guys are in Farallon right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Great to see you have someone. Heather is, they are one of our Panama Total Access passes. You guys coming up to Boquete area in your trip here this time, Heather? Ricky Bobby.
Maybe they'll run into the group. Let us know your schedule. Maybe you guys can meet our group this week.
Yeah, we're going through that area on Saturday. Mhm.
Hopefully my background isn't too loud. I can hear the discoteca at the fair. And it's
All
getting
right.
louder by the hour.
Yeah. For your YouTube people, if you hit the little bell notify button, you'll get notified a couple hours before these actually, it'll just a little notification on your phone when these go live. So, okay, guys, we're going to get started with the question thing pretty soon. Let's finish with the introductions. And from this point, we're going to ask for questions only in the chat. Questions. That does not mean answers. That means questions, folks. So we on this Q&A, you can type your question in the chat. We also like to meet people. And if you want to come into our studio and say hi, you have to share your microphone at least, preferably your mic and your camera. And then we'll bring you in live. You can ask your question that way too. Oh, you're going to be in Boquete, so they're going to see the group on Sunday in Smiley's.
Nice.
Great.
Yep, they'll be there for dinner. Make sure to introduce yourself to Oscar.
Yeah, it'll be lunch. We're usually there around noonish, so we'll tell Oscar to look for you guys.
Yeah, but they'll go to Smiley's for dinner.
Yeah. Oh, for dinner. Okay. Sorry, I'm from Saskatchewan. Dinner is at 12. Supper is at 6. Megan, we got Pennsylvanian people on here too, and it should be like that for you guys too.
I never understood that.
Yeah. All right. So let's quickly introduce ourselves. We got a lot of new people on here. And then we're going to get into the question. So Megan, you start.
Sure. I'm Megan. I'm from Pennsylvania, like Rod said. I moved to Panama in 2018, originally with the Peace Corps for a couple years, and got to learn a lot about the country through that program. I lived in small communities all over the country, did a lot of cool development projects, learned a lot about the culture, the food, the language, and then met my husband, Oscar, who you can see up on the screen there. He's away, just kicking off a tour right now. But he has worked in tourism for many, many, many years. And so when I met him, I learned about tourism and the expat communities and the fact that Panama is one of the #1 places in the world for North Americans to move to and retire to. And so when I finished with Peace Corps, I joined on with these guys. And now I'm able to share a lot of what I've learned about Panama, why I love the country, and also how I've been able to integrate into the local culture and also into the expat communities here. So now I spend most of my time in Boquete. I have a 3-year-old, so I'm here most of the time. I used to do a lot of the tours with Oscar, which was really fun, but now I meet our groups when they're here in Boquete. So if you come on our 7-day tour, the last 2 days I'll be with you. If you come on our 3-day Cherokee Highlands tour, which is based out of Boquete for the 3 days, then I'll be around for most of that tour. And then, of course, if you get our total access pass, which Rod has on the screen too, as we were just saying, one of our guests here is doing her own self-guided tour through the country using the contacts and information in our relocation guide. And if you come to Boquete, we'd love to meet you, no matter which way you came through with us, and grab a good coffee while you're here. So yeah, if you do any of those, I'll be working with you. I'm helping make sure you're ready for your trip, sending emails to make sure you're ready for your tour. And then if you do decide to move, helping you get that move checklist ready to go and make your move here nice and seamless.
Perfect. My name is Rod Larrabee. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I moved here just over 14 years ago. And when I moved here, I didn't know what I was doing. I bought a one-way ticket, arrived in Panama with my bags, and got in trouble. Everything from where I was living to my vehicle not being properly registered to me, to a lawyer wanting $40,000 retainer. Well, I asked around, and at that time, this was 2011, there was only one guy helping expats, really qualified guy doing the type of work I needed, and that was Oscar Pena, Megan's now wife, my business partner. And so him and I met after a bunch of people referred him. And he got me straightened out and got me on the right track. And we became business partners pretty quick. And we actually opened a downtown location. And Oscar was doing both. He was working with expats and he was working with tourists. And we got a little office downtown, and we were doing hikes and waterfalls and Vulcan Baru, stuff like that. But what we found is people, expats coming in the door, people wanting to move here that just made a trip, and they couldn't figure out the car rental thing because they found out the laws in Panama are different. They couldn't figure out what visa they wanted. They wanted to buy a car. They wanted to find a rental. So we started dealing individually with people. But what we found after a couple of years is we were putting fires out because people just came unprepared and were making some expensive mistakes. And so they've already paid for those mistakes, not our fault. They didn't ask, but we had to fix them. So we decided to put these group tours together in 2018, and we've been doing that every month. And right now, during the high season, we have a couple in January and a couple in March. Typically, we do one per month. And we take people from the beginning thought of moving to Panama to finding their perfect rental or home in Panama. It's a full package. And whether it's on tour or on our total access pass system, which you get everything you do on the tour, except you don't get to drive around in a bus with us and have fun. You can have fun on your own, though. But I do want to say, so that's what we do. That's who I am. For those of you who have been waiting for that opening, we've been solidly sold out. No, we didn't put on a new tour, but because of the new tours, we've had some movement in our tours over the next few months, and these won't last long. I just updated the list. I got to find the list. It's here. It's coming. There it is. So we have one spot for a single on our February 7-day tour, one spot in March for a single, and one spot for a couple in March. Now, that is it until, well, May is almost sold out too. So basically until June, I wouldn't know if May sells out this week also. So if you want to get on, there's still time to do it. And we do, for your Cherokee Highlands people, we just wrapped up that tour like Megan said today. That is another option. I'm going to put the website tour thing. We do have one single spot open. Somebody moved into May on the March tour, which is just over a month away. Just over 6 weeks away. So I am dropping the link in the chat, and then promise we're getting right to questions. Where you can see our offerings and where you can get more information. Okay, let me dump that. Okay, so this is where the questions start. I found out how to bookmark questions after a year using the system, Megan.
Amazing.
Hello,
all right, Joanne.
Any advice on renting a car? Yes, lots of advice on renting a car. First of all, do not go to the international site of budgetrentacar.com. Do not do that. They're going to tell you you can get a car for $14 a day. You're going to arrive here and find out it's $60 a day. And you're not going to be happy. Someone made this big, they're disheartened by Panama because of their car rental experience. I don't want that to happen to any of you guys. Joanne is coming on tour with us. I don't want that to happen to you, Joanne. We have in your members area, or you might want to book now because you're kind of coming in the high season. And Boquete has 3 decent places to rent cars. And I know you want to stay around the Caldera area. It's perfectly fine to drive around that entire area. Caldera, El Francis, as we talked about, places like that. And there are 3 places in Boquete: Cowboy Cars, Auto Mart, and Value Motors. Yeah, that you can get cars cheaper than the online guys. If you're coming into Panama City, if you want to go cross country or David, go to the Panama site of the major. For example, budgetpanama.com is Panama's website for budget rent-a-car. Now, it will give you the exact price you're going to pay. In Panama, there's a law. This is not just Panama. Many Central American and Asian countries have this mandatory insurance law because they don't partner internationally with these other insurance companies. And it's going to result to an extra $25 a day, no matter what, where the private guys build the insurance prices into their rates. So with these other companies I mentioned, Joanne, you can get a car for approximately $35 to $40 a day on a weekly or 2-week basis. Mm-hmm. So you can just send me an email on that, Joanne, and I will give you the contact information, because you should probably book that vehicle now, because they do get busy. They're smaller companies, but excellent service. So. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was an early one. Joanne, someone could store extra luggage while you're on the tour. Yes, there is.
Yeah, so if you're going back to the Panama City side of the country, our hotel will store your luggage for you throughout the tour. If you're going from on to Boquete, Volcan, or even Bocas del Toro, staying on the west side of the country, then we can ship your luggage to Boquete for you.
Perfect. And remember, tour guests, nothing wrong with asking questions, Joanne. Please do. You have direct access. Megan is your tour coordinator, and the welcome email is her personal email. And it's scrolling along the bottom now. Please, everyone, email Megan your questions. No. and you can, all these logistic things she can handle for you. Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. Bugs or ticks?
Yep, both. Definitely you want some repellent.
Yeah, it all depends how much they like you. Some people more than others, but yeah, especially like if you're really hiking in up in the mountains, definitely. If you're at the beach, the no-see-ums when the sun starts going down, are pretty bad.
Yeah, it's the tropics, so lots of bugs. It just varies from time of year, what kind of bugs, and how, if there's a lot or few.
Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Stephen. Welcome back.
To here.
Love those updates.
Chris from Vancouver Island. We're moving to Canada to Cerro Azul. Can you tell us if it is cooler? Yeah, Cerro Azul is definitely cooler than Panama City. I'm going to say 3,000 feet, like 1,000 meters, Chris. I should Google that, right?
I don't know if it's that high.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cooler than the city, though, and more forested. So if you want to be within an hour of the city, but have a little bit
feet.
cooler.
So, yeah, 2,400 feet, 730 meters. So you'll definitely be cooler. But, there's not a ton of services besides your small shops and stuff like that. But it's just down the hill to Panama City. Hey, Dan, you're on our July tour. Welcome.
It'll be here before you know it.
Woody, is there still cocktails at the studio? Which studio is that?
What studio?
I don't know. I can't remember. If not, bring your own booze.
So, was that an inside joke from the tour? I don't remember.
I don't know. Hey, Doug, how would you ship valuables like coins? Good question. If you're talking actual gold and silver, there is one way, but typically coins are going to be at like collectibles are at face value. So it's not like a trusted courier like DHL, insured, stuff like that. It's a good way to get coins here. Or you can bring them, because if it's not, what do you call it? If it's not gold and silver, then it'll be treated just as coins. I do some collectibles and stuff like that. And I recently purchased a $600 $5 coin, and it came in on the DHL paperwork as valued at $5. So, but definitely if you're looking at precious metals. There are some Fort Kobe is a good place to ask. Fort Kobe vaults in Panama. Now they are see, bringing precious metals into Panama is very complicated. In 2018, 2019, they initiated a 5% duty on gold and a 10% duty on silver. And if you bring in your precious metal into Panama and you declare it, and then you go into the customs room, they're taking it from you and they're giving you a ticket and they're going to value you. In a few weeks, they'll call you back. Your gold and silver is ready. You don't want to do that. You don't want nothing to do with that stress. If you bring it in and don't declare it, they're just taking it. Okay. So be very careful. Now, these guys, I'm going to put them in the chat. Now, I don't recommend, we're not giving a recommendation for anyone to store gold and silver in Panama. Okay. We don't have companies that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years like US and Canada does that has that. In fact, in the years that we've been here, we've seen companies just close their doors. And that becomes a real problem if you're storing gold and silver. But Fort Kobe, actually, it's North American owners, and they actually will take care of your stuff when you bring it in, or meet you at the airport and do all that stuff if you're bringing in precious metals. And you can choose to store with them. That's your choice, or they'll turn it back over to you. Okay, let's talk about using your credit cards in Panama. Megan.
Yeah, so mainly MasterCard and Visas are accepted in Panama. Others like American Express and Discover, not so much. Here and there, they are accepted, but not as widely accepted. Just make sure to let your home banks know that you'll be using them in Panama so they don't get denied once you're here. And then as you can also take money out of ATMs, but it's limited to $250 withdrawal at a time. And most banks will hit you with a pretty large international withdrawal fee. So we suggest bringing some US dollar cash if you can from home, depending on where you're going, how long you're going to be here, how much shopping you're planning on doing. But enough so that you don't have to worry about the ATM and having to deal with those fees would be nice.
Mm-hmm. The good thing about U.S. credit cards is because the Panama's currency is pegged to the U.S. dollar, there are no currency exchanges on every transaction. You Canadians, especially the ones that want to try it here for a while, live here part-time, or just for the first few months, I highly recommend opening up a U.S. dollar account and get a credit card on it. Because the Canadian, you can lose plus the exchange fee, you're going to lose 2% on the exchange fee. Plus, they give you an international transaction fee on top of that on every single thing you buy. Santa Fe Veraguas. I have not been there for a long time.
Yep. Yeah, Santa Fe de Veraguas, it's not close to Boquete. It's in the center of the country, probably about the same distance, kind of right in the middle between Boquete and Panama City. So from Boquete, it'll take you about 4 hours to get there, and similar time from Panama City as well. So you would go to Santiago first, which is the capital of Veraguas, and then you would travel north from there for about an hour. Although the last time we went in the last year, they were redoing the road. So the road might be finished by now, in which case it would be less than an hour, probably more like 30 minutes to get up there now. There are not that many amenities. It's a beautiful little mountain town, but very small, like 2 or 3 restaurants, 1 small store, 1 gas station. I think there's not even a bank in the town, I don't think. But you do have Santiago, which has all the big box shopping and major amenities that you would need nearby.
Nightlife. I heard Jose and Maria have a barbecue every Saturday night.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Yeah. It is small town. It's great for people who are looking for the small town life.
Great hiking.
It's great. We're getting questions about all these expat locations. I'm gonna talk to you about living in Bocas del Toro. I, I'm gonna talk to you. It's been 14 years. I've been to Bocas once. I don't really have a desire to go back because it wasn't for me. But Megan and Oscar, you guys go there once a year or so, or so. Tell more about what you find the lifestyle there. We do have some guests living there now, and they love
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I think it's typically younger expats that decide to move there because it doesn't have high-end private health care. So for I think retirees or older expats, they want that peace of mind to have the high quality healthcare private hospital nearby. They have some clinics in Bocas del Toro. Um, and really, for anything major, you would want to go to David, which is a boat ride and a 3 hour car ride or bus ride away, or a quick hour flight to Panama City. But as far as living there, if you go there as a tourist, you might think it's a crazy party town, right, in Bocas town. But the Bocas del Toro series of islands, there is a lot of different communities that you could live in, even on the same main island, but on the north side, it's more quiet community. Most people that live there don't choose to live right in Bocas town unless they're working in tourism. So if you go there, we actually have a guide there who's lived there for many years, and he'll show around our guests that want to go there and look at Bocas for relocation. And he'll show them the different communities, rentals, real estate, lifestyle. There's a large expat community there from all over the world, young, older, families, singles. So it's a very diverse place to be. I would say it's just a little bit more for the adventurous because you're living on an island. Everything that is coming there is being shipped in. So if things run out, sometimes there can be a delay before you're getting the things that you need.
Yeah, if you're looking at off-grid living, and if you're younger, maybe 40s, 50s, yeah, I would say definitely check out Bocas. It's just gorgeous there, right? Yeah. Or if you're a boater.
Or a diver or
Yeah.
surfer.
JB, yes, all of our Q&As are recording. The link I just put into the chat is our YouTube channel of all of our live streams. You will see hundreds and hundreds of them. You can search by, if you want the one, Oscar did one on cars about 6 months ago. And I think they should do one again shortly. Let's talk about cane toads. Yep, they are. Now, I know a lot about cane toads as I'm obsessed with them. I have two dogs and I've kept them safe. I've always had two dogs and I kept them safe. And I just moved to Delega, a new house. And so I had a fence built all the way around. I had the green vinyl it's a chain link. But on the front and the bottom, it's, about this big of concrete and the chain link. And then for both privacy and cane toads, I did the green vinyl weave in the chain link so you can't see through it, you can't get through it. I blocked all the entrances, and my yard is now cane toad free. I still will go out with my dogs at night. It's the only time you really see the cane toads. During the day, they might be in the yard, but they're definitely hiding under something. So, just mind your dogs, watch them. Always keep your charcoal, like the edible charcoal and lemon juice in your house, and douse your dog a teaspoon of charcoal water down the throat and lemon juice for the mouth, and call your vet. Will you have any tours November week of Thanksgiving? Typically, we don't put a tour on during U.S. Thanksgiving. Just the fact of travel is too difficult for the people in the U.S. It just gets really complicated to travel here and stuff like that. There's nothing here, but also usually right after Thanksgiving is Panama's Independence Day, which is November 28th. So you also don't want to have a tour on that day. So the last week of November, typically, no, there's never a tour. Okay, personal items, small. You can ship anything you want, Chris. Just depending from Vancouver Island, how much you want to pay for it, and do you really want to bring your vehicles? Because you really got to consider that. Let's talk first about all your personal stuff. Yes, if you want to bring it, you can bring it. The bigger stuff, like kitchen appliances, you want to consider. Depending how you live, North Americans are used to 40-inch stoves and fridges. There are very few homes in Panama you will buy that has a counter built for that type of an appliance. It just doesn't exist. I have literally seen people so many times ship all that stuff here, and then you see for sale, and they can't sell it, and they end up having to redo their kitchen because their stuff doesn't fit. So, and kitchen appliances, our power is slightly different here too. We are 50 hertz. So if your appliance not rated for 50 to 60 hertz, take a look at it and don't bring it. Same as furniture. If you're planning on buying a house right away, a lot of people that sell their homes here are expats that have decided to go back for one reason or move on to the next country, and they're selling furnished homes. So you can end up with a lot of furniture if you bring all your furniture. What do people normally do? Well, I don't think there is a normal, Megan, is there, for people moving here?
No, I would say the majority of people don't bring down furniture and vehicles, but some people certainly do. It just depends on what you have and if you love it, if it's still in great condition, if it's a lot higher end, I would say. A lot of our guests will decide to bring it down because it will cost a lot more to repurchase high-end furniture or vehicles, and it's just not the same amount of options here, or if it is, it's more expensive. So I would say like higher end stuff, people are usually happy they brought it. Um,
The only
if
problem from Vancouver, Canada, you're going to be looking at $20,000 for a container. It's very expensive. It's a long ways down there. That's a 40-foot. And bringing cars, is it smart to do typically? I showed a whole bunch of our guests here. We're looking at car prices here. Now, the thing to remember is North American cars aren't as popular here because they're too expensive. The cars that are is the Toyotas, the Suzukis, the Hyundais, the name names. What do you guys have? Your new one.
you said Toyota.
Yeah, I said
Subaru.
Yeah. So all those are very popular. You know why? Because there's no duties on it. We bring them in directly from Japan and Korea and places like that. And we don't have a protected auto industry, so we don't need to put duties on them. Try to bring coffee here, yeah, you're going to be dutied 50%, but cars, no. So those items are way cheaper. A Toyota Helix, which is like the Tundra, can be $10,000 cheaper than one of the States, like brand new. Number two is the cars that are made for Panama are not on the same assembly line as the cars that are made for North America. They have different emissions controls. We have different octanes in our gasoline here. You could have issues. So that's the reason why most people don't bring their cars. Okay. First time visitor, Angela. Looking to meet with lawyers or agency that asked about retirement visa. Any free service or recommend? I would never recommend a free service. Lawyers won't charge you typically for the first meeting, for sure. Well, they shouldn't be. And if you're shopping for the best price and a lawyer, we can't help you. I'm sorry. Because there are lawyers here I've seen online quote ridiculously low prices. And they're also the ones that people always have problems with. You want a smooth, and the difference between the cheapest lawyer and the most expensive one might be $1,000 throughout the whole process. You don't want the most expensive one either. You want somebody in between.
But almost all of them will provide a free consultation with you.
Yeah.
And ours
Mhm.
certainly will. But if you want to apply for residency while you're here, you'll want to connect with them now.
Yeah. You want to meet with them now. Most meetings are happening virtually, even with lawyers nowadays. There's no, I tell people moving to Petite, your lawyer should not be in Petite. They should be either in Panama City or Boquete or David, because that's where you're going to have to go for immigration. You're going to have to appear in those places, not Petite. And then if your lawyer is going to be, do they have someone to travel there? And so, so find a quality lawyer. If you go for Facebook reviews, make sure that lawyer is mentioned 20 times in the comments before you even consider. Because what you're going to find in Facebook groups are employees of lawyers pretending to be expats or just referring people. This person's good, or posting their business card. There are so many, I call them Facebook trolls in the industry. Joanne, sorry if any of my questions got answered. I couldn't hear any answers. I had trouble getting, into the presentation, so I reposted. Okay, maybe. Oh, yeah, extra luggage, Joanne. This is what I mentioned. Yeah, we can store the luggage at the hotel in Panama City if you're returning there, or we can ship it to Boquete. That's no problem on our tours. Just if it's excess, like tons of extra luggage, there's going to be a fee to ship it, obviously. If it's one bag, we'll look after it. Coordinate that, Joanne, with Megan. Okay. And then the other one was, renting a car. We went into that through detail, Joanne. Get a hold of me, Joanne. Send me an email so I can give you the contacts for the car rental people directly that you can rent. And it's high season when you're coming, so you want to get that booked now. There are many expats northeast of Panama City.
I don't know the exact numbers.
Not a lot. I actually haven't gone out there. I got one friend that lives in Cerro Azul, but he's Panamanian. And it's an upper class, like upper middle class Panamanian suburb. But there are expats there. But as far as expats that will have a Monday night backgammon, Tuesday night pickleball, Wednesday, no, it's not that type of a community. That you're going to be looking at Coronado, Gorgona, San Carlos, Petite, Boquete, places like that. If you're looking for
Or
that.
even a little bit closer to Panama City, like Santa Maria.
Yeah, Panama City, they have expat meetups, but if you're going to live in Panama City, the building you rented might not have an expat. And you're not going to walk 2 blocks to your weekly meetup. You might have to drive. You might have to, because obviously there's a city of 2 million people. Or Uber, don't drive. Yeah. And there's YouTube.
Is there an area on the Caribbean side that has or close to that has good health care?
Yeah, the higher end areas around Cologne, because you're close to the city. What's it called? Just east of Cologne. But it's very small little community.
Like Shelter Bay area?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's west, but let me bring that up and discuss that area a little bit more on a screen share here. Sorry, usually I'm faster at that.
Yeah, because the main Caribbean side areas that you could or would want to live in would be Bocas del Toro or the Cologne area. There's not too
Yeah.
much in
Mhm.
between those.
Now, in Cologne, you don't want to live anywhere near the city of Cologne. Absolutely not. It is just not a good area. It's, yeah, it's not the safest area. Like it just isn't. But in here, there's a Shelter Bay, Fort Sherman, and then I'm thinking of the places way up here. Up here, there's some more places. But if you expand this out, you're right on top of Panama City. But there still isn't a lot of private healthcare in Cologne. But there's definitely a lot more selection because Cologne is actually the second most populated city in Panama. David is the third. Most people don't know that, but there's not a lot of expats live in Cologne. They live in some of the outlying areas of Cologne. But and then the only other thing, like Megan said, on the Caribbean side is way over here, Bocas del Toro. There's nothing. This is all just very sporadic, like virtually nothing going on here. Yeah, maybe in 30 years. Eh?
Can I schedule a private tour in San Carlos area without purchasing one of your tours or relocation guide?
Um,
Um,
no,
no.
no, not with us because we keep our guides in our Panama Total Access Pass exclusively for our clients. If we like we just finished a tour and one of our clients today took one of our guides and on a well they're on a 2-day excursion of every neighborhood in Boquete. If we just make those guides public, they're not going to be available for our clients. So I really hope you understand that, Lisa. Our Panama Total Access Pass is $497 and it covers 65 steps you're going to need to do to move to Panama. Everything from immigration to um, renting a place, like with all the honest, top of the line rentals experts, to the guides, to what are you going to do for healthcare, VA information, the where's your doctors, where's your dentist going to be, just what are the best hotels to stay in during your trip. Like just one thing after another is in our access pass, and so we just don't deal just saying, "Oh, yes, John Doe, he'll drive you around," and then you're just not getting all the information you're going to need. Is there a tax-free zone in Panama City? Yes, the tax-free zone in Panama City is called Punta Pacifico, and it is located very close to map again. I shouldn't. I should use my logged out version. That way, it wouldn't be hearts everywhere. You guys are gonna know my best restaurants. Actually, Fort Kobe, the precious metal places in it. It's right in here, Panama Pacifico. You'll find hundreds of U.S. companies operating out of there. They have special rules for everything for employees and for like there's lots of warehousing going there. There's lots of residential happening there now too. So a lot of people work and live there. But that's where Dell's office is, and there's many other warehouses. The other tax-free zone in Panama is, of course, the Cologne free zone, which is right here. And so there's a gated off, huge gated off big area in Cologne. And we have one more. It's all the way down here, just south of David, in Paso Canoas is a duty-free, tax-free zone. Good. Electricity.
Yeah, no converters needed. We're 110 just like North America.
Joanne's asking about furniture. We just had a little talk, so you probably got that because this question was at 7:30. You might have got that. Expensive is where you live. If you live in Miami, yeah, you're killing it. You're going to pay 3,000-4,000, fill your container. If you live in Seattle, Vancouver, Toronto, New York, you're over the 10,000 in shipping a container down. So all depending how expensive your furniture is, Joanne. If it's really worth a lot, then sometimes it is. But then, like I say, and you don't have to get an entire container. They all the shipping companies consolidate. So if you just want to move your bed because you love your Sealy number push button, whatever, some very high end bed, yeah, you can just ship that. You don't have to ship everything. They will find a container for it to fit in, and it'll be down there. Mm-hmm. Are there electric vehicles in Panama?
There are electric vehicles, and there are many charging stations all over the country. The main gas station throughout the country, most of them have the charging stations now. However, they're still newer to Panama, so they wouldn't be our first recommendation just because as far as getting parts and getting mechanics that know how to work on them might be a little bit slower if you have work to be done on it. But it is an option.
There's a lot of new brands out in electric cars, a lot of Chinese brand, Korean, and some I've never even heard of. There's one expat lady, she drives this little van, this little electric, and like you hear her go down the street. You actually don't hear her go down the street because they're so quiet. But it's a cool little vehicle. Only costs like $11,000, but are they going to have service for it in 2-3 years? How long are the batteries going to last? We just don't have the answers to that yet in these unknown brands. Okay, Joanne says taxes.
Taxes. So good news is that
I think she's
you don't
talking
have
duty, taxes on your furniture. 'Cause
Oh.
that's the question. So I'm going to go with the duty thing first. If you come as a pensionato, you can bring up to $10,000 personal goods duty free. That's duty free, not import taxes. There's a difference, but that's very irrelevant. That's a sales item for the pensionato visa because customs never values used goods, used furniture as much. So I've seen people bring their entire container, 40-foot container of furniture, and the duty was $350 because it's, you know, what's a 5-year-old couch worth? Is it worth $50? Like, you know, you can list it as low as you want. So there's not a big duty. Only on vehicles do they get really obsessed, and the average is around 20% on a vehicle. Could be 30, could be 10. And the pensionato can get that exemption on that portion, but there is a 12% tax on all your importation, 7% sales tax, 5% import tax. Mm-hmm. Now, should we touch on the other taxes in case I was wrong and what she was asking?
She actually clarified down here.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering about taxes at end of year. Do we pay our taxes if I collect Social Security there?
Okay, great question. Panama is a territory tax country, meaning you don't pay any taxes. The only thing you pay taxes on is Panama sourced income. So no, you will never pay tax on your pensions. You will only pay tax if, like Oscar, Megan, and I started a business here and created Panama income. We pay tax on that. But I have another business that I do consulting for people on their websites, and they're all US and Canadian customers. I don't pay tax here on that at all because it's not Panama sourced income. It's income that comes from the US. Mm-hmm.
If you own a home here, you will have property tax, but it's very minimal.
Yeah. The only time you would as a retiree would owe tax here is, let's say you put a whack of money into funds here. The good thing is you can put some money in a bank here. Interest rate, there's no tax on interest on up to $500,000 in savings. So you could put $500,000 in savings, which will earn you about $25,000 a year, and you don't pay tax on it here. It's kind of nice. But if you put $1,000,000 into savings, then you have to start declaring that because it's Panama sourced income. So I hope that answers your question. You will not be double taxed on your pensions whatsoever.
Oh, we skipped Doug.
Doug, I skipped Doug. Where? Put it up. I don't see it.
Doug, to
It's
ship
Doug.
a small pallet, is the shipping based on weight or size or combination?
Typically, it's always sea freight is volumetric. So from Florida, I'll give you an example. A 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot high pallet that 16 times 8 is 140 whatever cubic feet. It's going to cost you around $1,200 from Miami to Panama. That is the average. But if you have 10 of those, you obviously get a big discount. If you just have one, it'll cost around $1,200. Then your price would be to get it. How much would it be to get to Florida? And within the country, you can look at a couple hundred to move it around here. So if you just have one pallet, and it doesn't matter, you can line it up with generators at the bottom. You can line it up with pillows on top. It can be really heavy or really light. It's going to be the same price for that size. Mm-hmm. Oh, Joanne had a problem. She never heard the bugs and ticks.
Yes, spraying your bug spray. I mean, it doesn't have to be DEET. Natural works pretty good for me, but it just depends what works best for you. How attracted are the bugs to you? If you're a bug magnet, then maybe get some with a little bit of DEET.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bruce, how are you? Once a permanent resident, Copa offers a strong distance to fly between Toronto and PC or anywhere else for that matter. In fact, all airlines that have an ticketing office in Panama are required to give the 25% pensionado discount. All airlines, okay? I don't recommend a travel agent. Most people don't use them. On Copa, it's very simple, Bruce. You go online, you book your ticket, you put it on 2400-hour hold. The very first time, you're going to phone Copa's 1-800 number or Panama number, and you're going to say, this is my reservation code. I want to register for the pensionado visa. They'll get you to send all your paperwork in and your ID, and then they'll give you the visa and take your credit card over the phone. Next time, you don't have to do all that information. You just pay for it over the phone, right, with the Copa rep. If you want to use a travel agent, I would pick one in Panama that knows, about the pensionado discount. Now, don't forget, from Canada, right now it's only Copa because Air Transat and WestJet do not have ticketing offices in Panama, so they do not offer the discount. But WestJet has a seniors discount. I believe it's 15%. I know someone that came in WestJet that didn't know that, kicked themselves $100 loss. Do we get these information with the tour? Hey, Christian. If you're talking to Panama Total Access Pass, yes, you get that with the tour. It comes with the tour. You actually get it early, 30 days early. You'll get back office access, and then you get your book when you arrive. If you want to start the process early, we also get a hold of me or Megan. We also offer a convert your deposit to the Panama Total Access Pass, and we'll give you access and ship your book to you right away. A lot of people say the book. Okay. Yes, it's a real book, folks. It's not just an ebook. It's 465 pages, 65 chapters, 250 subchapters, everything you need to know. Mm-hmm. Flu shot.
Yes, they are free. And typically year-round, they'll give flu shots, unless there's maybe a new one they're waiting on, a new batch for March, April. But you should be able to get them at any public clinic for free at any time.
Flu season here, though, is March, April, correct? Because that's kind of when our rainy season starts. And
between change of seasons, usually there's some flu and colds going around. Yeah, they go first to all the public clinics and public
Mhm.
hospitals.
Yeah.
And then if they have extra, they'll let the private clinics and hospitals get some too.
Have you been east of Panama City, Megan? Far?
Nope.
No. It's because it's the Darien jungle. It is not populated very much.
It's mostly all indigenous territory.
Mhm.
It's very rural.
Cindy wants to know about vaccinations that you should have for tropical diseases before visiting Panama.
So there's no required vaccinations for Panama unless you're going somewhere really rural. Um, but being up to date on your normal vaccinations, I would say is advisable, but there's no set requirements, and
If you're
nor
going to do
nor
some
is there a need.
travel, yeah, if you're going to do some travel, you can get the yellow fever vaccine because some countries in South America require it. So, but I don't just, I can't, I've brought this up before. I'm all for the hepatitis vaccines. I know a friend that got hepatitis from bad food service, and it's a horrible thing to go through. And not that we have a lot of that here, but there's certainly a lot more street food and a lot more not as educated and hot water and soap for 30 minutes in the kitchen. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting a hepatitis shot every 10 years. So. Seafood in Coronado. I don't know.
Serving local fish.
I don't eat seafood, so who
I'm
serves the
sure
best?
it depends on, the day. Most restaurants, it just depends on the delivery that day if they have fresh daily fish coming in or not. But Picasso's is always great. Um, I think it's called La Rosa, is like the Italian, and they have seafood too. Place right near Picasso's that's really good. Um, those I would say are the main ones in Coronado. And then there's a ton of other great restaurants in the greater Coronado area. But I would say those two inside Coronado, La Rosa and Picasso's.
Bruce, could you suggest 2 to 3 Airbnbs? You've heard good recommendations in Boquete. We have about 20 places in our members area. Bruce, Villa Alejandro. They got 5 locations in Boquete. They're all over Airbnb. They got right downtown locations, a few minutes outside. They are medium priced. Can't go wrong with Villa Alejandro first. Mm-hmm. You can go right to their website too and see all their locations. And then I think some of their links go to their Airbnbs. Okay. We're just finishing up here. It's actually a different strain of flu because the main flu shot is introduced in March and in North America, it's in September, I believe. So there's more work on it. I don't know if the flu shot here protects you against the flu. And Dr. Shannon I was listening to talk about your doctor radio show about a year ago, and she was talking about this. And they are definitely different flu shots.
Oh, Marie confirmed Luna Rosa for seafood. There you go. And she's in
Luna
Coronado.
Rosa for Coronado seafood. There we go. We typically don't take our groups to specific seafood restaurants because some people just might. We take them to restaurants that serve seafood, but everything else too. Mm-hmm. And Bill says, La Camiosas, the seafoods.
Los Camisones in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Good paella. Oh, I'm going to have to write that down. Thanks, Bill.
Can you recommend a company to bring your furniture to Panama? Nope, not until I know all the details, Ilka. So please go to our site, our website is in the chat many times. You can use the contact form, but I need to know where you are from and how much you are bringing.
Yeah, we have a couple different.
We got companies that work good on the West Coast, clients that work good on the East Coast, clients that work excellent out of Florida.
Ones that specialize in containers, others in pallets or boxes.
Specialize in pallets. It's a pretty complicated procedure. Okay. You did it again. We got all the questions, Megan. Woohoo.
Wonderful. Thanks, everybody. Those were some great questions.
Coming back, bunch of new people. We really appreciate you guys, and we have fun doing this every Thursday night. Yes, we do. They really had to get me to smile on that one, but yes, thanks, Bruce.
We finally got Rod and some good pictures.
We were in the park and Oscar was telling jokes. So that's why I smiled. Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Everyone have a good night, and we will talk to you soon.
See you next week.